This is ABC15 Mornings.
The battle over immigration reform begins in Congress today.
We are building the capacity to address the needs of those children when they arrive.
As White House deals with the rising number of unaccompanied minors at the border.
Rolling out shots in the Arizona heat.
There is a concern about the temperature rising and the vaccine not being effective.
The state preparing for the next distribution phase.
Arizonans left waiting months for their unemployment benefits.
You have a picture in there, all kinds of things to say, this is who I am, I'm not a fraud. But that wasn't enough.
The Let Joe Know team getting answers on what's to blame for the delays.
Tracking down the ghost students.
The student who started with us are their freshman year, and they come all the way through. And so we just can't let her fall.
Valley Schools working to bring everybody back to the classroom.
And we all scream for ice cream, the new dessert shop hoping to see you inside its new location.
We say good morning to you on this Thursday. Nick Saletti here, social distancing in the newsroom. Allison Rodriguez joining us right now in for Kaylee today, and mortally embarrassed for not knowing what the term finna meant and for mispronouncing it apparently. And my phone has been blowing up for the last 5 minutes. I got
Mine
Iris,
too.
I got Mark Thompson, I got all our producers, I got you texting me, calling me out, dragging me for not knowing what it meant. So.
Iris is as well. Iris, we got to get Nick
I'm getting
out
it from
more.
all sides, okay? No friends here today.
Yeah, we got to get you out more, Nick. Absolutely. Let's sit down and let's have a conversation about these terms, right, that we all use in our everyday that are now in the dictionary. So it's all good, Nick. We do it in love, that's for sure. Hey, as we talk about your most accurate forecast, we are warming quickly. We felt the temperatures change yesterday with temperatures more than 10 degrees warmer than the day before, and today we're going to add another almost 10 degrees, about a 9-degree difference from yesterday's high to today's high temperature. 73 yesterday, today we're up to 82. So the 80s are back. As you step outside though, it's not feeling too bad. It's not as cold as yesterday morning, still chilly enough for a sweater, but dress in layers. Our temperature right now, 52 degrees. We've got a few high clouds out there. It'll be mostly sunny to partly cloudy through the day today, and temperatures climbing quickly. We'll likely be up to about 73 today by lunchtime, and then still warm several more hours after that, up to 82 with that high hitting around 4 o'clock here this afternoon. A gorgeous but warmer day, and that temperature will go even higher ahead of the weekend. But we've got other changes to track too in that 7-day forecast, and I'll show you those in a few minutes. In the meantime though, let's send it over to Chelsea Davis, who's watching our morning drive.
Hey, good morning, Iris. Good morning, everybody at home. I hope you're having a great start to your Friday Eve. So excited for the weekend. Let's look at our accident log group traffic maps now. We're going to start on the east side of town because we're looking at mostly green flows there. US 60, I-10, 101, all of the 202s clear at this point. If you travel on I-10 from the west side of town, you're going to run into a lot of stop and go action starting closer to 75th Avenue, and you're going to see that pretty steady all the way through the stack. There's a reported crash at 43rd Avenue in the eastbound direction. I looked at all the ADOT cameras nearby. I have not seen it. Doesn't mean it's not out there, just in case maybe it's at a different angle or something. So give yourself a little bit of extra time. But North Valley clear as of right now. So for that extra time you're going to need for I-10, right now the desert drive time is 26 minutes to go eastbound between Loop 303 over to the mini stack. And I'll keep watching. If I find that crash out there, I'll let you know.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. A lot of news to get to on this Thursday. Today, immigration is taking the spotlight on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers set to vote on 2 different bills offering different opportunities for immigrants. One measure would grant dreamers a path to citizenship. The other would protect undocumented farm workers. Both bills are expected to pass in the House, but face a tough road in the Senate, where they need 60 votes to pass.
Well, the immigration debate heating up as the Biden administration is dealing with a surge of unaccompanied minors at the border. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas says the U.S. could soon see more migrants at the border than in the past 20 years. Now, the administration has deployed FEMA to help set up more temporary shelters for minors. The mayor of Yuma confirming one is being built there.
It's not a tent. It's really air conditioned. It's got great floors. It's got facilities as restrooms and showers. And it's a much better environment than the location where migrants are generally held by Border Patrol.
So President Biden says they are also working on ways to allow people to apply for asylum from their country, hoping to deter them from making that dangerous journey. And we are learning Governor Doug Ducey plans to head to the border tomorrow. His office says he wants to see the impacts firsthand and hear from local leaders there on the front lines.
Well, the state health department making some changes to our vaccine rollout. Starting tomorrow, appointments at the 4 state-run sites will become available every Friday morning at 11 a.m. Now, tomorrow, about 78,000 spots will open up. You can book an appointment online at azdhs.gov. You can also dial 211 if you don't have internet access. Temperatures are rising into the 80s this weekend. Before you know it, summer will be here. As heat ramps up, our vaccine distribution plans will have to change. Mark Thompson is live this morning. Mark, the state is trying to work on some plans to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, a really important issue, especially for those of us, of course, living in Arizona. President Joe Biden, as you know, is urging states to make all adults eligible to receive the vaccine. That means that many of the doses administered here are going to be taking place during the months of May, June, July, and that's when our temperatures will hit into the triple digits, so it could be dangerous for folks. That's why the Arizona Department of Health Services is already working on a plan. We're learning that starting next month, the State Farm Stadium site, it will convert into an overnight operation. It's been going 24/7 since it's opened, but whether you're sitting in your car waiting to get a dose, or for those staff members who are administering the shots, the heat, it can be dangerous. We spoke to Dr. Janice Johnston, who's the Chief Medical Officer for Redirect Health, who said similar measures had to be taken last year when it came to testing sites.
It's super hot for the staff to stand out there, and in terms of testing, I mean, we're fully in our PPE and our, plastic shields and all the rest of it, and it got really, really hot for us. I know in the summertime we adjusted our hours to do testing first thing in the morning and then towards the end of the day.
Now, moving forward, it should help that many of the vaccines will be administered through local pharmacies, those shots taking place indoors in the air conditioning. And so far right now, 2.5 million Arizonans have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Reporting live this morning, Mark Thompson, ABC 15 Arizona. Guys, back to you.
Mark, thank you. So for the past year, the Let Joe Know team, in part with the Rebound Arizona, has been asking state leaders why Arizonans are waiting so long for unemployment benefits and what's being done to stop fraudulent claims. So we reported in July that hundreds of debit cards had been sent to people who had never even applied for benefits, and the state blamed an automatic response in their system. But all new this morning, we are hearing from the company ID.me that was hired by the state to help, and they tell our Joe Ducey what's to blame for all the delays.
He's the head of a company hired to help clean up Arizona's unemployment compensation mess.
Fraud should be in the low single-digit percentages. In many large states, similar to like Arizona, it's like 26%.
Blake Hall is the co-founder and CEO of ID.me. The state's Department of Economic Security hoped ID.me's verification process would cut down on fraud, speed up claims. Hall contacted us after our story about Christy, who says when her unemployment benefits stopped, the ID.me process made things more complicated.
You have a picture in there, all kinds of things to say, this is who I am, I'm not a fraud. But that wasn't enough, because now you had to go through an ID.me system, which you can't get into.
Since ID.me was implemented in October, they say they've kept thousands of dollars from getting into the wrong hands. But Christy and other viewers say the system has also delayed people who qualify from getting benefits. Marianne says she got the email to verify her identity, but ran into problems uploading her driver's license. She says she couldn't get through to customer support. Flint Wayne writes he tried for days to verify who he was, spent hours on the phone trying to get help, encountering errors on the ID.me site in the process. Sharon says she was able to make it through the ID.me process, but still got messages saying her DES account was not verified.
Once you're verified and have an account, you never have to re-verify again. That's the whole nature of our service.
Hall says people have tried fooling their selfie requirement with video replay and masks. He says expired driver's license, documentation problems, and trying to verify through the wrong links caused some issues. But he says long delays are not their fault. They're working through millions of claims on any given day.
And so what led to like long wait times, isn't a function of like our staffing or technology. It's literally that there's 6 or 7 months worth of claimants who have like 2 weeks to verify.
So why do Arizonans say they still can't get benefits even after verifying their ID? In a statement to us, DES says they're working with ID.me to look into specific instances where individuals have had difficulty verifying documents. DES says ID.me helped cut down fraud claims and sped up the process, saying they now have 460 unemployment insurance claims and 1,543 PUA claims waiting longer than 21 days. Hall reached out to us saying he wants to help Christy get through the system and is offering the same help to anyone with similar delays.
If we can't help them, we'll make sure that they get escalated to DES in a way that they can actually get verified and go through.
So how much has the state paid ID.me? Well, it's hard to say. DES says it's based on successful verification and depends on the number of verifications we require. They say project support is included and people who can't verify identities are not part of the cost. Hall says he's going to try to help Christy and others who have issues. If that's you, go to abc15.com/letjoeknow and we have ID.me's contact information right there. I'm investigator Joe Duce. If you got a problem, let me know.
Joe, thank you. 10 past the hour. Did your stimulus money show up in your bank account yet? Before you go on a spending spree, some tips on the best ways to use that money.
Taking control of your career. The pandemic has set so many working women back. How you can make sure you are getting what you deserve. Well, this morning, millions of Americans are facing the threat of extreme weather. The severe storms that left a trail of destruction in Alabama and Mississippi, well, they are now on the move. More than 20 tornadoes reported. Showing you some new video now of the damage across the South. In Montgomery, Alabama, the winds were so strong there, they actually picked up a boat. Yeah. And you see that there, it's wrapped around that pole, that tree, I guess. And these storms now headed for Georgia and the Carolinas. Meteorologist Iris Hermosillo tracking these very dangerous storms now.
Absolutely. You know, we've been talking about this since yesterday. We knew it was going to be a potent system. More than 20 tornadoes reported across the southeast, and this storm was producing tornado warnings earlier, at least right along that cold front, that line of storms that you see now moving through states like Georgia, producing a tornado warning earlier. Right now, no tornado warnings, but we do have that severe weather still across the Florida Panhandle with storms that are capable of producing damaging winds as this storm system continues to push to the east. And here's the deal. The threat for severe weather is still pretty high. We're looking at that forecast, rather, the threat from the Storms Prediction Center. They issued this outlook as far as our severe weather threat for the day, and you'll notice that we're at about a level 4 for the Mid-Atlantic region, so that's just below where that was yesterday. And again, that's that bullseye right in that Mid-Atlantic region where we're going to see the best potential for more tornadoes, more damaging winds, large hail as well, and heavy rain, a big factor with this storm system too as it progresses to the east. So we're going to continue to watch it very closely. And of course, remember, this was the storm that moved through our state just a couple days ago and cooled things down. Now, of course, it's having much more of a significant impact for areas off to the east. And we're going to keep those folks in mind as, again, it's been a difficult day yesterday with all of the tornado reports. And again, today, the possibility for more. Back here in our state, though, high pressure now in control. And so this morning, we're waking up to mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions, some clouds across northern Arizona, but that really is it. They're not too thick at this point. And as we go through the day today, I think we'll see some of those passing clouds, but otherwise we're looking at dry conditions. Chilly temperatures as you step outside. We've got some freezes in northern Arizona, not as many as we had yesterday, but we are down into the 20s in Flagstaff. Window Rock, you're checking in at 20 degrees. It's 23 in Heber. Payson, though, above freezing this morning at 39 and 36. Our temperature in Prescott with Phoenix right at 52 degrees. And instead of 30s and 40s like we saw yesterday morning, it's more of 40s and 50s across much of the Phoenix metro area. Even some of our cooler spots. Chandler, you're checking in at 42. It's 45 in Ahwatukee, 48 in Deer Valley, and we're right at 47 in Surprise. Peoria, it looks like your meter's not working at this point. You're not in the 70s right now. We'll get a handle on that temperature here, but it's likely in the 40s to 50s all around the Peoria area here this morning. Temperatures will be climbing pretty quickly. We're back to 60 degrees by 9 a.m., 70 by 11 o'clock, and then 80 by 3 o'clock. So the 80s are back today. We'll reach a high of 82 degrees, and you can see those temperatures around the valley. We're talking low 80s for most spots with some 70s
70s along our foothills. In northern Arizona, 50s and 60s, but about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. And we are going to keep climbing. Tomorrow, we reach 86 for a high in Phoenix. By Saturday, mid-80s and some breezes, but changes on the way. Rain chances starting Sunday and then 70s next week. We'll talk more about those storms in the next half hour.
ABC 15 Desert Drive Time, sponsored by Accident Law Group.
All right, thanks so much, Iris. Chelsea here. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday Eve. This Thursday looks pretty good with our Accident Law Group traffic maps. If you're hitting the road right now, we're going to start on the east side of town because US 60, I-10, 101, all of the 202s showing green conditions right now, so it's pretty quiet. Even into and out of Maricopa on State Route 347, not tracking huge delays. So if that changes, of course, I'll let you know. Where we are seeing breaks, I-10 in the eastbound direction as you're approaching downtown Phoenix. Same with I-17 at the Stack and then also around the Durango curve, so closer to 19th Avenue. Now, the crash that was out there for I-10 eastbound at 43rd Avenue must have cleared because then it completely disappeared off the maps, the icon, and I have not been able to actually find a crash that was off to the shoulder or anything, so it must have been a fast mover. Take a look at our ADOT cam on the map here. You can see that the left side of your screen, those are the eastbound lanes. They're pretty slow. North Valley, you're going to run into a crash on I-17 northbound. This is kind of off to the shoulder as you're approaching Cactus Road, not causing backups yet, but the rest of your commute after that point on I-17, the 101, 303, or Carefree Highway, all clear. So I'll check back in a few minutes and I'll show you some desert drive times.
All right, Chelsea, thank you. 6:18. Taxpayers will get a little more time to file their returns this year. The IRS is moving the deadline from April 15th to May 17th. The agency is still dealing with a backlog of returns from last season. The extension also gives preparers the chance to assess the changes to the tax code. The latest round of stimulus checks has started showing up in bank accounts, $1,400 checks for adults and kids. Now the question, what's the best thing to do with it? The checks are heading into millions of bank accounts to help with food and bills.
Oh, yes, certainly. Certainly we could get things paid down.
A family of 4 could receive $5,000. Before shopping, Kiplinger Personal Finance suggests you pay off high-interest debt like credit cards, shore up your emergency fund so you're prepared for the next downturn, and put some in a 529 college fund for kids. If you do go shopping, look to support local businesses near you, from boutiques to family-owned restaurants. That way, everybody benefits from the stimulus. Now, experts suggest you spend a bit to help the local economy, but as always, bills come first.
Well, the pandemic has forced a lot of women to leave the workplace, and now we are seeing even more negative impacts for the ones who are still working. A new survey from Indeed finds women are less comfortable asking for a pay raise or a promotion. One possible factor, women don't want to look ungrateful or difficult while an employer is dealing with staff or budget issues. But experts say it's good to have those conversations with your boss now so you can build your case.
Make that case and really convince yourself that, you deserve this, you have been putting in the work. And so that, that confidence shines through in that request, and that you have, definitive reasons to say, I worked on this project or I put in these hours.
Indeed found one silver lining of the pandemic. Women are feeling more comfortable asking for flexibility at work when it comes to hours and location.
Oh, Valley Girl Scout had massive sales this season thanks to her virtual pitch that went viral, and now she's giving back to others.
So our team was there as Allie Schroyer donated 300 boxes of cookies to local veterans. She's also given more than 1,000 boxes to hospitals and nursing homes here in the Valley.
She's got a big heart. Her family says she plans to donate 250 boxes to a food bank in Houston to help families in Texas impacted by last month's winter storm.
Well, motivation and movement. Today's bulletin board highlighting how getting active can help kids get used to in-person learning again.
And thousands of students in our state failing to show up to school or aren't even enrolled. The principal doing everything he can to get them back in the classroom.
Welcome back, everybody. Earlier this week, we held a town hall with health insiders, and one of the topics we covered focused on our kids and their emotions and behaviors throughout the pandemic. So if you've noticed that they've been more anxious, depressed, or angry, physical activity might actually help, and we'll explain how on our bulletin board today. Educational psychologist Reena B. Patel shared ways to boost our kids' mental health and said Think M&M, and we're not talking about the candy M&Ms. Movement and motion both can improve a child's focus for class and schoolwork. If your student is learning online, that could mean hours straight of sitting and staring at a screen. So make sure movement is part of their routine to regularly increase their heart rate, whether it's playing a game like Simon Says or running outside. And since kids are missing their friends so much, a safe and small group activity could boost mental health as well. If there are 3 children together, they learn life skills like language skills, how to problem solve, to share, how to handle social situations, sportsmanship, and so much more. Moving also helps kids cope. It's a healthy outlet to blow off some steam, Get your dance on, you can exercise, play sports. All of those options can help alleviate stress and actually show neurological and psychological benefits. And that's what's on our bulletin board today.
The happiest place on earth ready to welcome back visitors. Disney announcing the theme parks in California will reopen April 30th. The parks have been closed since last March. Initially, only California residents will be allowed in and capacity is going to be limited. The company says it hopes to reopen to everybody, but didn't lay out a timeline for when that would happen. Obviously, a lot of Arizona residents want to check out Disney as well.
Yeah, chomping at the bit to get over there for sure. All right, starting today, the Easter Bunny is going to be at Arizona Mills Mall. Kids will be able to take socially distant photos through April 4th. Reservations strongly encouraged, though, and you can make those at simon.com. And then on Saturday, April 3rd, you can also have brunch with the Easter Bunny at Rainforest Cafe. Reservations for that are required. He doesn't eat much, though, maybe a few carrots on his plate.
Well, this Easter Bunny looks like he's dropping off a lot of eggs and stuff, so he's got a...
Generous.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's got quite the stash. Hey, the Arizona Cardinals shaking up the roster during free agency. Next at 6:30, what these gains and losses mean for our upcoming season.
Yes, and tracking and following those students who are not showing up to class. That is the goal of one South Phoenix principal. We're going to go out with him as he searches for these ghost students.